Okay, I'm going to start recording now. It was nice to meet you. Nice to chat. And now I'm just gonna put everyone away for a minute. So let's start with about me. My name is Dr. Katia. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I well, now you're supposed to say couples and family therapist. I started studying in 2013, right? So now it's 2005. That is 12 years ago. You know, uh, a lot, of course, have been, changed since that time. But so I studied in the US, couples and family therapy. I started as a master's program. I enjoyed it so much. Went to the Ph.D., um, gained a lot of different resources, worked for many different years, many different settings, substance abuse facilities, work with children, work in the private practice settings, work in the community centers, in the office, at the people's house. I mean, very intensive experience. When I start working even more deeply, I realized that the knowledge that I have is not sufficient. A lot of times I would find myself in a situation where I would work with clients and they're like, okay, well, I told you everything. We're going to start working now. I felt like something is missing. I felt like there is some other information that I have and that I just cannot express it. It's there is some gap. I went into individual therapy for myself, and I'm like, okay, let's start discovering. I truly believe that you will be able to take someone as a therapist. You will be able to take someone deeper and further if you yourself already walk there. If you yourself already understand this process, you already experienced it, um, you felt it on your own skin. So I said, okay, let's figure out how to experience this and how to walk in my own skin with a purpose. My main goal back then was I need to help all those people. I need to figure out why we stuck, why there is a stuck, and what needs to happen. I dived deep into Eastern therapy topics. I studied at Yulia Ivleva, Evgeny Terebinin. I did my own individual therapies very intensively. And I noticed how my own world is shifting a lot, very, very quickly. I start practicing on my clients and I understand that combine the Western and Eastern together is the effective way to go. It's it can work fast, fun, looks easy, and if it's painful, it's not for too long. And now I think I got to the point where like I have to share this. I have to get it out. I have to share with the other therapists because they asking me how did you do this? How did you process this? How are you not taking this on your own? How are you able to work with the challenging clients who majority of the therapists will refer? So now I'm ready. Now I want to share this and I wanna start talking about those things. To talk a little bit more about myself, I'm originally from Russia. This is why diving into a Russian therapy was very easy for me. I moved to the US when I just turned 20. I have 3 children. They are now, they're still small. They're 8, 6, and almost 2 years old. Happily married, 12 years together now. But been everything. I've been through divorce as well. I've been married before. I know what it's like to be in an unhappy marriage and work through that process as well. The divorce and pain of separation is also familiar to me. I worked a lot on my relationship with my own parents. Uh, my father, I basically didn't know him. Um, my biological dad, he left when I was 1 year old. At that point, I don't even remember him much. And now we communicate. We were able to establish a relationship without that emotional charge. The same thing with my mom. It was very interesting, tense relationships. And now, work did a very intense work there too. And now much, 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 much better, healthier relationships. I know what it's like to have children and go through the process. Bottom line, I'd been there, experienced that in my own skin, and I work very intensely with my clients. I see about 30 clients a week, hear many, many stories. Again, working from 2013. When I think I already heard every story possible with all the experiences possible, the page is opening up and I'm learning even new things. Definitely building up on my own experience. What I think is important for me to share today, what I wanted to talk to you today about, is something that Evgeny Terbenin was talking about a lot, is that our experiences, they are not one-dimensional, and their memory of the experience is not being memorized just in logic. So there's 3 stages. There is a logical memory, there is emotional memory, and there is a physical memory. And those 3 forces dreaming us a lot. It's not just about memory, it's about the actions too. When we are planning on doing something, when we want to pursue something, we strongly balance our ideas from those 3 steps. For example, falling in love with someone who is not logically good for you. So you logically understand that this person, I don't know, cheats, treats you poorly. You logically like, no, I do not want to be with this person. I'm going to stay away from this person. But then emotionally, physically, you are drawn to this person. You are connected to this person. This is an example where logical, emotional, and physical do not agree. And those steps where logical, physical, and emotional do not agree happens all the time. All the time. It's very rare for all 3 to combine each other, meet each other in one place, and function from that point. Another example is trying to work out. So logically, you're like, yes, I'm in agreement with this. Logically, I made the steps. I'm going to work out. I'm going to build this much of muscle weight. I'm going to, I don't know, lose this many pounds, kilos. And then if even physically you're in agreement, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. We're going to do this. And then emotionally, you're like, no, you cannot make yourself get up. You cannot make yourself go. You have low enthusiasm. You're like standing in front of this gym and basically having a very, very hard time forcing yourself out and doing something. That is another example when logical, emotional, and physical do not agree. Another example will be, even trying to be on the social media platforms, talking about your business. And you understand that in order for you, I'm talking about myself right now, right? Like, I understand that in order for me to reach more people, to understand, to get more connections with other people, I have to be on the social media. I have to build that presence. Logically, I'm there. That's what I want to do. But then it's becoming so challenging on some kind of emotional level, like something is holding me back. And this is also the moments that I had to, go through the process and understand what exactly is holding me back. And what I have done, I was looking in the businesses that I was structuring before on the different social media platforms that I have built before. It's like I had to separate myself from those experiences to go into the new one. Anyway, those are one of the experiences. The logical, emotional, physical, very, 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 very often do not agree. Very often do not agree. And we very often see our, close people to us. They say they want to do one thing and then they're doing completely the other thing. It's not like they don't believe in it. It's just on a logical level, they want to do it. But then something happening on a physical and emotional where it doesn't match. When it comes to learning and to the methods of learning, the same logical, physical, and emotional comes up front as well, right? There is a classical way of learning, right? Like you have a book, you write things in it, you basically listen, you read, you're logically trying to comprehend what have been told to you, right? This is a classical way how we learn in schools, in colleges. You read, you write, and you're supposed to know it. It's not exactly in agreement with the other steps, right? How often, yes, yeah, I read this, I understand this, and then there is a block. Like, okay, what is next? How exactly am I supposed to apply this? Another method of learning is look at me and repeat after me, right? So that is where we watch those YouTube videos, or we asking our friend, okay, can you show me how it's done? And then I will just repeat after you. It's this visual learning. It's a majority of people prefer that. Right, visual is what, 80%, I believe, our mind comprehends visually. So when you see someone else is doing a work, in our case, right, if we are working with the clients and you see your professor, your supervisor is doing therapy, it's much easier for you to copy and paste, and you're like, okay, now I got it. Now I see how it looks like. I understand the process. I can apply it and do it the same. This is like a physical example. Okay, so now logically, I read the book. I write stuff. Logically, I'm ready. Now physically, I have seen what you have done, and now I can repeat the same thing. Now, and then there is a next step. The next step is the most fundamental, the most classical, the most nature path is where you repeat after me, right? Like the mama duck will show uh, baby ducks how to swim, and then she would literally kick them in the water and like, okay, go ahead, now you go. The wolves the baby wolves, they would play together, and they would play as humans, hide and go seek. They would play, play attacking. They will go in the groups. And the wolves, those baby wolves, that was the most effective in playing, the most effective in not just logically seeing how you're supposed to hunt, right? Which is through play, not just logically seeing it, not physically observing it, but it's also like they feel the experience. They feel what it's like to jump and, hunt and the other wolf and work as a pack together. Those will be the most effective at hunting. And this is exactly what I would like to offer to you. And this is exactly the way in which I want to share this information, to share the information about how Eastern family therapy works. I don't want to talk to you about it. I don't want to give you a lecture about how Eastern family therapy works. I do not want for you to be passive observance. I want for you to feel that in your own skin. And this is why I would like to offer you as a client, and then in the future, when you're ready to practice as therapists, to practice this theory. So for this, how we're going to make this process then? I'm going to ask for your requests. You're going to share the request with me, and I'm going to show to you how I would address it from this Eastern family therapy perspective. Your main job is, yes, to observe what is happening and how the process works, but it's also how exactly you feel through this moment. Did you feel any changes happen to you through this process? So think about what kind of requests you have. Before I will select one of you, I also want to talk to you about side effects. You're like, what? Side effects in therapy? Yes, they are side effects. Because when the work is done very deeply in this fast experience, your logical, physical, and emotional may not function at the same pace. So logically, you might understand what just happened, right? And you might even physically felt the experience. But then emotions and bodies typically takes time to catch up with what just happened. We might have a session 10-30 minutes, but then your body might take a couple days to process the changes, and then even on an emotional level, this might take you some time. Anyway, let's talk about side effects. Side effects of the process, when the shifts happen with you deeply, emotionally, the side effects may be a sinuses, runny nose, cough, high fever, stomach ache, sweat. You might be very, very tired. You want to sleep. After reading, it's like after reading very intense book, some significant experience happened to you, might knocked out and just fall asleep. For some people, they have an increase in appetite. Is in a way body is trying to restore itself, so you eat a little bit more, which is also just a normal experiences. I know for me, when I started working through the process, for my stomach did hurt a lot. Like I literally took me like a good 10 days to wash my system off. Sorry for the details. But then another thing that I found out, I started cleaning my house. I didn't realize how the mess in my head matched the mess that I had around me in the house. So when the mess was cleared, I was like, wait. Like I can no longer be in the mess of this desktop or of this shelf. Like I have to start clearing these things out. I was literally grabbing the garbage bags and walking around my house. I actually continue doing this practice. I truly enjoy it. You take a one garbage bag that is not connected to your kitchen, right? Or your bathroom, basically those traditional garbage bags that you have. But you just take in a garbage bag and you start walking around the house. And you fill it until, you keep putting things in it until it's completely full. And I do it about once a week. I do it on my day off, and then I don't even really notice it much around the house. But then, I have 3 kids. There's a lot of stuff in my house. But this feels clear. Like I remember that I think that is the first thing that my husband noticed. He's like, wow, the house feels lighter, he said. The house feels lighter. He couldn't understand what exactly happened, but I myself felt lighter, and the house started feeling lighter. Uh, Even this minor things. I used to have the dark curtains. I changed them to the light curtains. I mean, those things made a very significant impact. It's my son's like, no, she's making things up. 90% of the time, the clients that when they come to me, and I use this Eastern family therapy where I literally combine Eastern and Western, it's very effective. But so the first session, they always, and the second session, they don't show up. They're like, I don't know what happened to me. My stomach hurt. I have a fever. My nose is running, because literally their body is cleansing. Their body is washing away everything that was so tense for so long, and now it's clearing itself off. Of course, it depends on intensity, and how much the person is willing to go through, the process. Sometimes you have to pace it, right? You cannot give everything. But there is a lot of information. There's a whole lot of information. I want to paste today at those 3 moments where all the actions are separated on logical, emotional, and physical. And the more we are able to combine them in all 3 for the change to happen on the emotional, physical, and logical, the more effective the work will be. So let's do this. We're going to pause for a second. I'm going to pause the recording, and I'm going to start talking to you. And let's try to apply. Let's try to apply and experience on yourself.